Hey guys, it's Nija. Welcome back to my channel, Celestial Mind. Alright, my hair's looking a little bit crazy, but we're working with it. We're rolling with it. Alright, so today's video is all about predictive programming. Why do I look so excited to talk about this topic? I don't know, but I'm super interested in predictive programming when it comes to the media. I've been really especially getting into these shows on Netflix. The one that I'm going to be talking about today is The Unlisted. Have you guys seen this one yet? I think it's pretty good. It is on Netflix right now. It's basically an Australian, I think it's from, yeah, they're in Australia. So it is an Australian show, but I just think it's really interesting that these predictive programming shows always kind of happen in different countries. Like, I think I talked to you guys about the other show I was watching. It was called what is it called? It was about the artificial intelligent robot. I can't remember, but I have another video about it on this channel, so it's the last predictive programming video that I made. But anyway, that one took place in Russia. So I always feel, oh, and then there was another one that was called Layla, and that one takes place in India. So I feel like it's super interesting that there are a lot of directors in different countries and producers in different countries who are making these predictive programming shows. I mean, we get them in America too, but they're just like so blatantly obvious. Even Black Mirror started in the UK, and it's just so blatantly obvious. But I don't know, I think it's interesting that we don't have as much. Maybe we do, I don't know. I wouldn't say we don't have as much, but I just think it's very interesting that it always starts in other countries, or it seems like they kind of really start these things off in other countries. Maybe because Americans would be like, hold up, let's not do that. That's kind of weird. I don't know. But anyway, okay, so The Unlisted. The Unlisted is about, I'm going to try not to give any spoilers. I haven't made it to the last episode yet, so I can't tell too much. But basically, The Unlisted is about these twin boys. They are Indian, they're of Indian descent, but they live in Australia. And basically what's going on is in their school system, the school makes it mandatory for all students to get dental checkups. This happens in the very first episode, so there's no spoiler about this. Okay, so what happens is one of the brothers, his name is Drew, he is actually afraid of, getting this dental checkup done. So he asks his brother to go in for him. So his brother's like, okay, yeah, sure, I'll do it, but you owe me. So come to find out, all the kids were getting these chips implanted into their gums. They thought they were just going in for a checkup, but they were getting chips implanted through their gums that were basically like GPS devices, but also mind control devices, okay? So I thought this was really interesting because, you guys, they're literally already doing this right now in front of our very eyes, and I feel like obviously Netflix kind of takes it to the next level, showing you this is what they're going to do with this technology, but they're already doing this now. What's going on in our school systems? They're making vaccinations mandatory when we still don't know exactly what is in these vaccinations. So you know what I mean? Like, it's really interesting that people aren't catching on to this, and maybe people are catching on to it, but they're like, well, what are we gonna do? That's kind of where I am at. I'm like, well, what are we gonna do? We know what's about to happen, but what are we gonna do? And I hate to say what's about to happen, because I guess that's how they predict the program, but at the same time, if no one's really talking about it except for conspiracy theorists and whistleblowers like me, I'm not the only one that talks about it. Obviously, there are tons and tons and tons of people on YouTube, but if we're the only ones that are talking about it, and people who don't really have that way of thinking are not talking about it, of course they're going on Facebook yelling at people like, you need to vaccinate your kids, you sick F, or you know what I mean, like, you need to blah 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 blah, like, it's really crazy to me. So yeah, when I saw this show on Netflix, The Unlisted, I was like, oh my god, this is already happening. And I can actually give you guys, I was on YouTube one day, and there was a video that was suggested to me of students in China. They have this new learning technology for all the students in China, where it's like for school systems. They go to school and they have these these little helmet things that they sit on their heads, and it basically measures their attention during class, it measures their brain activity, and it measures like, it's just really strange, this technology that they're using. And basically like they're basically just saying like students will get in trouble if they're not paying attention in class. The information gets sent to the teacher can tell their parents. If they're sleepy in class or they're not paying attention, if they're not raising their hands and answering questions, all of that information is given to the teacher. This is not even on Netflix anymore. This is real life. This is happening in China right now. Students are having to go to class every single day and put this gear on their head that monitors and reports their brain activity. Can you imagine if there were American students, they go into class and we put on this helmet to measure our brain activity? Like that's so bizarre to me. I mean, I get it, they really care about their academics, but it just goes to show like, what if today they're putting on the helmets, but tomorrow, what if they really are implanting these devices? Like this happened in Australia, but as soon as I saw that, like the show airs in Australia, but as soon as I saw it, I was like, this totally is already happening in China. Like one day they're gonna say, okay guys, we're doing a wellness checkup, we're doing a dental checkup, and then they're gonna be implanting the children. Okay, and the parents aren't even gonna know about it. Like in the show, the parents didn't know that their children had been implanted with these devices. Did they give consent to implant these children with the devices? Probably not. But when we're doing things like making vaccinations mandatory in all schools, maybe they could even make, like, you know, even like checking for lice is mandatory in certain schools. And if you find out that your child has lice, I don't know if they do this in real, like now, but I know in the past, they would shave all the children's hair off that had lice and send them back home without hair. I would be extremely mad if I sent my child to school with hair and they came home without hair, especially if I had a female child, okay? That's weird. I mean, yeah, you gotta get rid of the lice, but I do not give the school system permission to shave my child's head bald, okay? I don't have children and I'm extremely passionate about this. Like, this is weird, okay? So, yeah, I just want people to be more vigilant, like especially in our school system now, how we're making things like vaccinations mandatory, making things like health checkups in school mandatory, making things like, I don't know, maybe we will have a dental checkup one day at school that's mandatory. And then they'll try and implant the children and the parents will have no idea, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not trying to fearmonger, but I'm just saying they hide these things in plain sight. They've always hid these things in plain sight. Even like back in the 80s when they were making movies about aliens for the very first time, people are like, oh my God, that's not real. Aliens could never exist. What? That's so weird. Like, that's in the future. That's some futuristic type thinking. And where are we at now, 2019, almost 2020, expecting to see UFOs in the sky in California, or expecting to see aliens, you know, walk the planet. Now we're seeing aliens all over commercials. Like Butterfingers has an alien commercial. It's popping up everywhere. Red Bull has an alien commercial. Like, okay, they're not just showing us, they're showing us these things to get us used to it. And when I make my predictive programming videos, that's all I'm trying to, I guess, share with you guys. They're getting us used to these ideas so that when they happen, we're not in such a shock. Like the higher ups already know, yeah, duh, aliens exist, or yeah, duh, extraterrestrials exist, or oh, yeah, duh, technology to track people already exists. We just haven't implanted with you guys with it yet, or maybe we have implanted you guys with it and maybe you just don't know. You know, your school vaccinations are mandatory, so maybe you don't know. You know what I mean? So yeah, I thought Unlisted was a really, really, really great show. Like I said, I haven't finished it yet. I will be finishing it within the next 1 or 2 days. When I really like a series, I always binge watch it. But yeah, I just wanted you guys to be aware of this series. So just in case you go to school one day, or your kids go to school one day and they send home health forms informing all the parents that your children are going to a mandatory dental thing, you know, and it might not even be dental. Like, they show us things that could happen. It could just be like a lice checkup and maybe they're implanting something in the back of your head. I don't know. I hate to sound so crazy, but you know, I sound crazy now, but like in a few years, people are gonna be like, yeah, that's not very far-fetched at all. That's already happening. It's already happening in China, and you guys know China is leading in technology. So whatever they do, whatever they find groundbreaking, whatever they find, oops, sorry, my phone's about to die. Whatever they, whatever they figure out, if it works in their society, of course it's going to trickle down to our society. Maybe not exactly the same. Of course, we have a few more freedoms than they have in China, but they're already using this technology, and the show took place in Australia. So I just feel like it's something to keep in mind. I'm really enjoying this series. If you guys ever watch a series and you want me to do like a breakdown on it, I'm all about it. So definitely send them my way. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode of Predictive Programming with me, Celestial Mind. And as always, like the video if it's interesting to you. Definitely do like the video if you do like it though, because like I say, YouTube kind of messes with certain videos of certain topics. I try not to use triggering words so they pull my video off. But yeah, I just think these things are interesting to talk about. So I hope you guys enjoyed. I love you. I'll see you in my next video. Bye.